So, welcome everyone to our home-based business chat class. So excited that you are here or that you are watching the replay. And for those of you that have been joining us regularly, we appreciate you coming. And those who have never been here before, we just love this because we've everything has been changing in the past 3 years, y'all. And it's still changing, right? A lot of people were able to work from home. So people lost their jobs, lost their businesses. And then now people are going back into the office. They're reevaluating things. And so over the past 3 years, the attitude towards home-based businesses really have changed a little bit. But we know that they still have a negative connotation to them. So we created this information just to give you some facts and some basics. And if you're curious and you're bold enough for you to take a look at it. But we know that the most important part is knowing that you can do this and that you can be a success in it. So we want to start out with our stories. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sheila for her to share her story to start out.
Hey, everybody, and thanks to Tashena so much for putting these together. And, we really need to get the information out. Over the last few years, this term misinformation became very, very popular. And around this industry, there's still, like you said, there been some changes, but there still is probably some misinformation, some misguided understanding about the network marketing slash MLM business or industry. So when you are putting these together to help people to uh, shift their understanding, shift their mindset, and be able to consider such a viable home-based business that requires very little investment of money, but it does require investment of your time, but it pays back your time. So that's the thing that we want to get across. And just to introduce myself, I'm Sheila Sherman, and I've been with Young Living Essential Oils for 15 years now. Prior to that, I dabbled in different network marketing companies, and I get it if people are like, well, I've tried it and it didn't work. And I tried a little bit here, a little bit there prior to finding Young Living. And Young Living is when it stuck. It's when I found the company that worked for me and fit in with my values, fit in with, and I'll share my values, fit in with my values of health and well-being, and fit in with my values of an honest, authentic, and transparent company. And one of the things that draws many people, and perhaps yourself, to network marketing is that you can do it from home, number one. You are an entrepreneur, number two. So those people who are interested in being an entrepreneur and not either as a side gig or working at it to be something bigger than a side gig, that appeals to us. And also, though, the buying back your time factor, because we are not just wanting to work all the time. We want to enjoy our families. We want to enjoy living out our passions, our dreams. We want to enjoy the financial freedom that can come with being in this industry. And so the reason why I joined it was for all those things. I have 6 kids I was raising at the time that I joined 15 years ago, and wanted natural solutions for my family, for myself. I was already I'd already decided that the Western medicine way of doing things was not for me. So I was already in the mindset of having alternative to that. And when I found Young Living and the oils and the supplements and the positivity, because that's part of it, guys, is not just about living toxic free from chemicals. It's about living toxic free from toxic situations. And I found that in Young Living. And so I went on 15 years ago to just try it as a business. And I'm so glad I made that decision. I've never looked back, and I've never had a need to look for any other company because I found everything that I needed in Young Living and desired in Young Living. So there's so much more than just what you see on the surface. I've heard before that network marketing, you may have heard this saying, is personal development with a compensation plan, because we are about developing and transforming ourselves from what I was 15 years ago. I was tired, I was exhausted, had 6 kids, I was homeschooling them. I was like, I had it. And when I found Young Living, I got my joy back. When I found Young Living and started using these products, I got the pep in my step back. And my kids, even my kids at young ages, they noticed the difference of before Young Living, being tired. There's some postpartum things going on. I was crying all the time. And my one daughter says, yeah, Mom, she's 26 now, or 27. And she says, yeah, Mom, I remember that's the time that we were able to start watching TV. Because I just set my kids in front of the TV. I was like, go watch TV. It was overwhelmed. And then after Young Living, and now it's become not only my lifestyle, but the lifestyle of my kids, because I raise them with the oils. So they're always like, what oil for this or what oil for that? When they have different issues, it's their go-to as well. So that's just a little bit of my story 15 years ago to now. And you will see this on the slides. I have continued to develop myself as a leader, to work at building my business, and I've come to the rank, what we call rank of platinum. I won't explain it here because I know Tashena has slides to explain that, but it is a very honored rank to have reached all ranks, all ranks. If you're working at this business, I want to tell you, pat yourself on the back, because you have made that decision and are taking those steps to experience that transformation personally, but also in your lifestyle, and experience that freedom. And so I've been able to experience that freedom. There's so many things that I am grateful for that Young Living has allowed me to live, and the lifestyle that we live now. And so I want to encourage you, if you're new, if you are just taking a peek at this, or someone has sent you this video, or someone has asked you to come on and you're here live, then I want you to really just take a hard look. It doesn't cost anything to take a hard look and get with the person who sent you this information. All right, Tashena.
All right, thank you, thank you. So again, I am Tashena. So for anyone that watches the replay and happens to not know me, I want to give you a brief description of myself and who I am. And so I am an automotive professional. I've been in the automotive industry for close to 19 years now. And so I am not the traditional Young Living essential oils person. I resonate more with the husband of the traditional Young Living person. I come from a background of where, we work 12-hour days, 10 to 12-hour days. We get paid very well for it, but that's what is required in order to do that as a salary employee or somebody working at a plant. I'm on the salary side. And then we have Buffalo Wild Wings once a week. We have pizza parties. We sustain ourselves with 4 cups of coffee or neon colored energy drinks or Mountain Dew. And we find ourselves at the age of like 35 plus. And we either have high cholesterol or high blood pressure. And we exercise. Exercising is important because high performing people know that they got to do something for their health. But we just start adding on one medication here, one medication there, and like we just accept it because that's what happens to everybody. But unfortunately for me, when that started happening to me way earlier than I thought it was going to, more in my early 30s. It happened in rapid succession. I always had respiratory issues and allergies and asthma and eczema and all these things that I thought was just normal and I was supposed to always have. And nobody could tell me anything but medication for that. And then I started to have gut issues. And then I started to have hormone issues. And then I was in 3 accidents in a short amount of time, and I had body pain. So I was feeling physically miserable and I needed some support. And Young Living came along when a time that I wanted it. And within the first couple months of me using Young Living, I had so many miracles that happened in my life that I had to share it with everyone. I felt obligated to share it with everyone. So for me, it's so different because there's no time that I made a decision to do a business. I automatically, because I started using Hanaway for some pain that was in my body, tension that I was feeling, and felt some immediately relief by doing certain things and adding that on. And then I started using our red juice, our amazing, amazing red juice. And that changed me at a cellular level and helped my blood work within 2 weeks of using it. And then within a month, I started using Joy, and that changed my whole emotional makeup. I absolutely, absolutely had to share it with people. So for me, I just started doing a business because it was a byproduct of me wanting to change people's lives. So if you're listening to this replay and you've gotten some relief, I hope that you understand that you have an obligation to change other people's lives. And if you don't feel that, I hope that some of this information will help you know that you need to do that. Because I literally have had as many miracles in this past year from natural solutions as I had in the first year. And I will never, ever leave because of that. In this past year, I experienced some things emotionally and physically that I thought I wouldn't have to go through. I experienced being rear-ended, so I was in yet another accident. Yay, me. I had a laparoscopic myomectomy, which is an abdominal surgery that usually takes people 8 to 12 weeks to go back to work. And I was back to work in 3, and I recovered all naturally. I had to deal emotionally with a virtual assistant that was stealing money from me and then switched to a new one. So that was emotionally hard. And then I blew an engine in my car. And then the end of the year, we were down 3 people at work. So I've had so many miracles happen to me just in the past year. Over the weekend, I was out of town and I had a friend staying with me, and I had her take Agile Ease and the red juice and have her do some certain stretching and resting, and she didn't have to take pain medication. That is why I'm here, and that is why I do the business. But for all of my people out here that need some stats, statistics, and to talk about some of the facts and myths, we got that information for you too. But I've been with Young Living for 7 years. I am at the level of a silver, which again we'll get to. And I just love all of the benefits that we're going to talk about because I've experienced all of them for myself. So with that, I'm going to hop into this presentation, and we're going to talk about some of those details. So again, we are here with our home-based business chat, talking about why now is the best time to start a business, and why home-based business might be a great place for you to start. So I already talked about my story of being an automotive professional. So I just love this slide right here, because these are companies that were created between 2008 and 2010, what we in the United States refer to as our last Great Recession. They've been warning us that another one is coming, but this is on record so far, the last Great Recession that we had, and then reverberated around the rest of the world after it was here in the US from starting in 2008. And I don't know if this is your first time being to this class, if you know this. What I have on this slide are all of the companies that were created between 2008 and 2010. All of the businesses that were created. Why? Because they filled a need. So think about it. How many of these companies do you recognize? How many of these companies do you use on a regular basis? Especially recently, I use WhatsApp all day, every day long to communicate in groups of people because when the world was shut down, all of a sudden we needed more ways to communicate with each other. And it's always been the way that I communicate with people in other countries. Instagram, I monetize on Instagram, so I got to get on Instagram every single day. Venmo is a payment system that most people have and use. Square is a payment system that you may not be aware of, but if you ever do vendor events, you probably have a Square app. And if you go to any coffee shop of any size that's local, their payment system probably is Square. There's this white machine that I've seen, and I see the Square label on it. So you probably use it on a regular basis without realizing it. Groupon is one of my favorite way to get some discounted self-care in. I love getting massages there, trying new, just different self-care things. Pinterest is most mom's best friend. Not really my favorite thing. I don't really go in there unless I happen to find a quote on there. And Uber, something that changed the way that we do transportation. So, why is now the best time for you to start a company? Because people have a need. People still have a huge need for both health and for additional financial support. So now is one of the best times for you to start a company. And you, when you look 10, 15 years from now, can be a person that has your own successful company. But why network marketing? Again, we know you already did one of those companies. We know it's got a bad taste. I'm from Michigan, y'all. It is obligatory to live in Michigan to at least have somebody in your immediate family at one point in time be an Amway. And I don't have anybody in my family that is an Amway millionaire right now. I'm not saying anything negative about that company. I love that company. I love what Sheila said about this being a personal development for you, because me being in Amway the 2 years I was in was one of the best personal development companies ever that really deepened my love of personal development and reading self-development books on a regular basis. I love that company for that. However, I don't have any personal friends or family that are doing that currently as a full-time job. And because of that, I think some people have a negative perception to it. But realize that just like there are people who are pushy salesmen at dealerships or any other industry, corrupt medical people, network marketing has some bad apples. And there's lots of training out now, and there's lots of people trying to change that perception. But I am a proud network marketing professional. And I love that that is one of my streams of income. And there are some benefits to network marketing. So, what are those benefits? Well, one of it is you can build it part-time anytime. I still currently have a full-time, sometimes more than full-time job. Again, I'm in the automotive industry. I have an amazing job. I love my job. I love my leadership team. And I do have some flexibility where I can work from home some days a week to make up and get a little bit of work-life balance. But I was just on site at some plants where I had to put in like 10 and 12-hour days. While I was at those plants, I was still able to do things for my business. I was still able to do some classes in the evenings. I was still able to, I didn't have to get rid of my business because I had to be in another state or other cities for my job. And you can build it from anywhere. I've done classes from Puerto Rico. I've done classes in all different types of settings. You can launch it for as little as $500 to $1,000. Again, we're talking about your general network marketing business. There's some that you like have to get a whole bunch of inventory and it takes you $4,000. And there's some like our amazing business that you can actually do for less. But in general, if you're thinking about network marketing, you should be able to launch a business for somewhere between 500 to 1,000 as opposed to 50,000 to $1 million of like your average franchise. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And your business partners have a vested interest. So the way that a good compensation plan works in a good network marketing business, you get paid when you help other people be successful. And that's why they have a vested interest in you. You can create enough tax deductions alone to make it worthwhile. This is one of my favorite parts, y'all, because you do not understand that, like, until you reach some of the higher income levels, again, I'm in the automotive industry. I am blessed. I am in Michigan. I am grateful for my job. My state actually has a pretty low cost of living, and so my income puts me in one of the top tax brackets, which means the government considers me to be upper middle class and they want to take more taxes from me. That's what that means when you make more money. So I'm so thankful that I get tax deductions, because every time I travel, when I was on the weekends out of town, I was sharing samples with people. I was everywhere I go, everywhere I travel. I was just, before we started this class, talking about how I'm going to New York. And I'm going there for business, to do some marketing and to put some things in gift bag for a fashion show, because fashion, beauty, we have beauty products. I can be a sponsor for this. And so I'm going to travel to New York and I'm going to have fun while I'm there. But technically, it's a business trip. I love doing that. There's so many tax deductions. We, on my YouTube channel, if you want to know more about that, we do have a training on that, so I can share, but I'm not a tax advisor. So make sure you consult your tax advisor to know what works for you and what you can actually do. You can learn it while you earn it. So when we go to traditional school, usually you have to be in school for at least 6 months, a year, sometimes 4 years before you actually start earning something. Here, the day that I got my Young Living starter kit, I booked my first home party, because, again, I knew that my family had to do this. I knew that they deserved this health and wellness. And you can earn extra 500, 1,000, 5,000 or more a month. We have people on this call or that have been teaching, if you're listening to this recording, that make that. And that's a lot. Think for yourself, what could you do with an extra 500? If you just had an extra $500, where would your life be a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, with just an extra 500? Or if you had an extra 5,000 a month, how would that change your life? If you had an extra 1,000, maybe if you have a husband, would you be able to quit your job if you have a job? So just think about that possibility. And with time and success, your income will be produced by hundreds, perhaps thousands. And again, I can't reiterate this enough. That's why I'm here, y'all. I'm here, but in order to change lives. I'm here to change hundreds of lives, physically, emotionally, and financially, if they so choose. So why health and wellness? So there's so many network marketing companies. You can do jewelry, you can do bags, you can do telecommunications. There's a whole bunch of them. But why health and wellness? Well, the global wellness market reached approximately 4.4 trillion in 2020. This is the latest data that we have. Every 3 months, I look for the newest one. I'm not sure why they're a couple years behind, but this is the latest data that we have from the Global Wellness Institute. The health and wellness industry is a growth industry. If you want to be in business, you want to be in one that's a growth industry at 9.9%. And it's predicted to reach 7 trillion by 2025. And it's also a pretty broad category, health and wellness, including some things you might not even think of. It includes healthy eating, nutrition and weight loss, mental wellness, personal care and beauty, physical activity, public health prevention, and personalized medicine, spas, wellness tourism, and workplace wellness. And you can see of that 4.4 trillion, what slices of the pie that those have. So why Young Living? Why the people that are teaching on this class, why did they choose Young Living? Well, first of all, they chose Young Living because of the miracles that happen in your life. But then why did they say Young Living is the business that I want to do? Why does it make sense? Why is it the best health and wellness business that I can choose? Well, Young Living owns their own farms. They have industry-leading research and testing with a seed to still promise unmatched in the industry. So they have better than organic standards. They have 25 plus years of experience in the industry. There's a low startup cost. We recommend that you get started with one of the amazing starter kits that we have, which range from 135 up to 250. And if you choose to do the business, then you would add on the business kit at $35. So we come in, no matter if you get the most expensive kit plus your business kit, we still come in under that $500 at about $300 for you. And we have the largest selection of essential oils, oil-infused products, and toxic-free lifestyle brands. So if we go back to these slices of the pie, we got most of this here. We help you with mental wellness. We help you with complementary or alternative medicine. We help with prevention, personalized medicine. We help with healthy eating, nutrition, and weight loss. We help with physical activities. We have things that you can put in spas. I use it when I'm teaching workplace wellness. We have personal care and beauty. And technically, you can go visit our farms and we can do wellness tourism as well. So we touch almost all of these pieces of the pie. So if you've been here with us this long, you've been listening, you've been learning, like, what can you really do with Young Living? Well, this is one of the older income disclosure statements, but it doesn't change that much. We can give you the latest one if you need it and want all the details, but this just gives you a little bit on average. We threw around some of these weird words like silver and platinum, so for you to understand what that means when we say that. Just as a distributor and just sharing, with your best friend and having them run alongside you, you can expect maybe an average of about 26 per month. The average star, which is, your mom, your sister, your best friend, which is how I started out in my first home party, kind of got them to all run with me. You can expect on average 75 a month. At a senior star, you can expect on average about 250 a month. And then an executive, that's where we're coming close to getting that extra $500 a month. An executive is a doable goal in 3 to 6 months. And then silver is where you can expect to get about $2,000 per month on average. Gold is where you can hit that $5,000 per month that we talked about. And then platinum is where you can get $13,000 per month, guys. And then it just goes up from there. So just decide where you want to be on this scale. So once again, I want you guys to just think about that first slide. What if you would have had the foresight or known to invest in WhatsApp? What if you would have had the foresight or known to invest in Uber? But we didn't have that. But we do have an opportunity right now. So I want you, if you're listening to this replay, to get back with the person that shared this video with you, because they know that you are capable of this and that you deserve this. And if you have any questions, you can always, this will be available on YouTube. You can always hit me up as well. And I can also connect you with whoever shared this video with you. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing and open it up for any comments or questions. Any questions, anyone?
I just wanted to Sheena, just kind of highlight a couple things that you said. I really like that you bring up the point that you weren't the typical uh, young living, person to get started with young living, and so maybe kind of describe that for people. But the point I want to highlight with that is you can be whatever it is that you who you are to come in. There's no particular way or particular type of person that does better at this than anyone else. Anyone who's willing to um, learn and to put the effort forth can be successful in this business. But kind of explain a little bit what you mean by who is the typical if you're not the typical.
Yeah, so when you started your story, you said I had already made the decision that I was going to be, a healthy natural mom. That was not me. Like the person that usually gets attracted to young living, they lean toward vegan, holistic, they got kids. They're, I always joke, I'm not the typical young living person because I'm not a 35-year-old white woman with 2.5 kids and a dog. I'm allergic to dogs. I have no kids. I'm not married. So that's what I mean when I say I'm not the typical young living person. But all of us, especially since what started to happen in 2020, need emotional wellness. And so my target market is myself. My greatest accomplishment is when I sit with a white male in the automotive industry who has his arms crossed when I'm talking about emotional wellness. And it's like, that mindfulness stuff is not for me. I'm working a plant and I'm allowed to have 5 minutes with them and get them to deep breathe. And they're like, wow, pausing for 5 minutes in the day actually does help me be more productive. And that opens the door for me to then later share an essential oil with them and share some additional tips with them, or tell them how apple cider vinegar, honey, and thieves is going to change their life and they're going to have better immune support if they do that. So this holistic wellness is for everyone. You may need a longer path and some more teaching and education to get it to some people who it wasn't natural and they didn't have a decision made in the beginning to do it, but it is for everyone. And this business is for everyone because everyone needs either physical wellness, mental wellness, or financial wellness. And so I'm here for the time freedom. I am so excited about the day when I get to share all the things that I do on a full-time basis and affect even more lives.
Sorry, I have to take the time to unmute. So yeah, absolutely. So it's it doesn't matter if we're typical or atypical. It just matters that we have those three areas that you mentioned, and we have a desire for those three: that physical wellness, the mental wellness, and the financial wellness, because that is an area of wellness as well, and especially right now. So you also mentioned, what would an extra $500 do? These days right now, it's going to help you fill up your tank. It's going to help you put the food on the table. At this point, it's necessities that people are struggling with. Help you pay those bills, and those things are life changing because you're no longer worried about how you're going to pay this or that. Those necessities in life. So, what would that extra $500 do? I want you to really think about that if you're listening to the replay. What could that be? And then how much time is it going to take you to do that 500 extra dollars per month? It definitely is not going to take you the same amount of time it would take for you to go to your job, depending on your job, obviously, and make that extra $500 a month. So, so I love that. I love that question, for people to really be able to ponder that. And then the other thing, I don't know if you know this, Tashena, as a stat, is that I read now 70% of people in the US, I think it was a little bit lower for Canada, are on at least one medication for a chronic illness. And that's across the board for all ages. And that's one of the things that I am particularly very, I don't know if proud is the word, but the word is that I'm excited that I am 60 years old. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm grateful. I'm almost 60. I guess I shouldn't age myself before the time. 59 years old. And I do not have to have any meds, and I don't have any chronic illnesses that would uh, render that something that I would need. Now, I understand when people need meds, but right now, I think a lot of people don't even realize that there are safe natural alternatives to particular meds or various meds that doctors put them on. So if you're one of those people that want to take control of your health, because I think oftentimes people don't feel in control when they're prescribed something and then they don't know what else to do, so they do that. So if you want to take your power back, that's how I look at it. Take your power back with your health, with your mental health, and with your finances. And Young Living can help you do all of that.
I'm going to look up that statistic. I'm shocked. But yeah, as I said, the miracles that I have had in this past year, like you said, unexpectedly, I was rear-ended. I had to have a surgery. We tried everything for me not to have the surgery. And outside of when I was actually in the hospital, and this was cleared with my doctors. When I came from the accident, he said, "Hey, do you want some Tylenol?" When I went in, and I was like, "Nope, I'm gonna use turmeric. I'm gonna use amino acids. I'm gonna use this." And he was like, "Okay, if you good with that, I'm good with that." And that's what I love about Henry Ford Health System. They don't fight me usually when I tell them that. And for my surgery again, when I told people at work the type of surgery that I had, they're like, "I don't understand how you're back here in 3 weeks." And outside of when I was in the hospital, I did not touch any medication. It was all natural. It was all eating what my scan said that I needed to do, taking the right supplements, using some body work. I did do physical therapy and massage therapy and some acupuncture to ensure I had no damage from being rear-ended. But it's just the solutions are there, and that's why I have to share. That's why I have to share. I have to share because the solutions are there. There are natural ways to support yourself.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Tashena. That's a wonderful presentation.
All right. Thank you all. Have an amazing day, and the replay will be available for everyone to share with anyone who needs it. Goodbye.